Hey everyone, welcome to part 2 of everything you need to know about the menstrual cup. In this video, I'm going to be talking about how to insert and take out the menstrual cup. Now, like I said in the first video, if you haven't seen that one, be sure to click right here to watch it. If you are unfamiliar with the menstrual cup and you are interested in learning more about it and possibly getting one yourself, please watch that one first and then come back to this video and watch it so you can get the full scope of what you're getting into. So like I said, in part 1 of this series, I mentioned the learning curve involved in using this cup. It is not like using a tampon, definitely not like using a pad. You're inserting this weird shaped thing into your vagina. A tampon is like this big and you insert it, push it, and it expands inside of you. No big deal, really simple. This is a little bit different because you have to fold it, insert it, get it to open, you don't want it to leak. There's a little bit more involved, so I'm gonna break it down for you. Before you insert it, you need to make sure that you clean your menstrual cup. So to clean it, you're just gonna boil it for 5 minutes on the stove, and this just basically sterilizes it before you put it inside of yourself. Next, you will notice when you get a brand new menstrual cup that it comes with a little silicone string that comes down pretty far. It comes to about here below my finger, so it's a few inches long, and a lot of people trim that. I've trimmed mine not all the way, but I've left a teeny bit so I can grab onto it when I'm taking it out. A lot of people cut the whole thing off. This just depends on what you prefer. Test it out. Maybe at first when you are getting used to it and you want to test running, putting it in and taking it out, maybe leave it on for that. But the more you use it, the more you will realize that that little silicone string is the worst. It is not comfortable. It like dangles down. You can feel it the entire time. It's not cute. How you know the menstrual cup is inserted correctly inside of you is, number 1, if you can't feel it at all, you should be able to go throughout your day without noticing it. And number 2, you shouldn't have any leaks. Okay, so once you've sanitized your menstrual cup, once you've trimmed your little stemmy to the size that you are comfortable with, now it's time to insert this thing. So, a little bit of story time. I had a difficult time getting this sucker in the first time I did it. It took me a good 30 minutes to get inside of there. No one told me in all of the tutorials that I watched, all of the things I read online, that you needed some sort of water or lube to get it up there. I just tried to do it just sticking it up there. It was not having it. My vagina was closed for business. It was not okay with what was happening. So I would definitely recommend using lube, especially your first time using this cup. A lot of people will say, oh, water is fine. You can use water. That's enough lube for you. No. No, you want to use lube the first time. In my humble opinion, that helped me a lot. This is the lube that I used. I got it from a sex shop here in Rochester. It's called Satin Sliquid, glycerin and paraben free, natural intimate moisturizer. This is vegan. It doesn't have any weird ingredients in it. The first ingredient listed is purified water. Then it's plant cellulose, carrageenan, aloe, vitamin E, different conditioners, potassium sorbate, and citric acid. So good stuff to put inside your vagina. If you are using a lube that you got from CVS or a drugstore, please throw it out right now because it is not good for your skin. It's not good for your vagina. It will fuck yo shit up. Get a good lube that isn't going to mess up your skin, that has all natural ingredients, and preferably that is vegan and cruelty free. So you're gonna go ahead and put on your lube. on the very rim of the menstrual cup, and then you're gonna fold it and put it inside of you. So there's a few different folds that you can do. The most popular ones I've seen are the little taco fold or the U-shaped fold, and then like the fold down. So I'll show you both of them right now. So the taco fold, basically, so you're just gonna take your menstrual cup, fold it in the middle, and fold it up like a little taco. Or a U, whatever you want to tell yourself. And then you insert it, boop, like so. Just right up there. The other fold is kind of like a fold down. I don't really know what they call this fold, but you basically just take the menstrual cup and you fold it on one side. So it kind of forms a little like point almost. It's not super pointy, but so it's like this. And then so you insert it like that. I prefer the second way of folding it. I did not find the taco way of folding it very helpful. It wasn't really opening up inside of me. It didn't get a good seal. I just wasn't a fan of that one. And from what I hear from people talking about it online is that a lot of them prefer the second fold as well. I don't know a lot of women who do the taco fold, but if the taco fold works for you, go for it. I would just say try out both, try out even more than the two that I just showed you, and figure out what works for you. So along with inserting it, the other learning curve involved is figuring out how to open it up completely once it's in your vaginal canal. Now I know this seems like, duh, wouldn't it just open on its own? Because when you're holding it out in the air, it opens up pretty easily, but there's no airflow going down there. So when you're inserting your cup and you have it inside of you and you open it up, it's a little bit harder to open up all the way because there's no airflow. So it's just kind of like, sometimes it'll just stay like in this position, it won't be fully open. So I found this girl on YouTube. Her name is, let me see. Her name is Sarah Tran TV, and she did an awesome video on how she figured out how to open the cup, which I found very, very helpful. So she recommends folding it like this, inserting it, and when you insert it, you want to hold it at the base. Keep inserting it like you normally would. And what I like to do is kind of like pulse it like this with my fingers. So it will gradually open when it is going up there. Then you're gonna like turn it, I like kind of turn it around a little bit while I'm squeezing it as well. And then to make sure that it's fully open, you can just run your finger on the outside of the rim once it's inside of you. And when you're inserting it, you want to make sure that you get it past your pelvic bone. And you will know when you reach your pelvic bone because it kind of does, I don't know how to describe it, but if you push far enough, it'll like kind of drop off a little bit, not drop off into your body, but it'll, you pass a barrier basically. Like you can tell inside of you, you're like, oh wow, that's the pelvic bone. So you want to get it past there, and you want it to sit past the pelvic bone inside of you so it can catch all your blood. You don't want it to be just in your vaginal canal, like the very beginning of your vaginal canal. Otherwise, it'll just be very uncomfortable. And like I said earlier in the video, you don't want to feel the menstrual cup inside of you. If you can feel it, if it's uncomfortable, if it's leaking, it's not in correctly, and you need to take it out and try to reinsert it again. So when you're going past the barrier of your pelvic bone, it helps to squeeze your vagina muscles like you're doing a Kegel. So this helps it just go in a little bit easier, makes it not as like uncomfortable. I will say though, the more that you practice, the more that you insert it, the more you take it out, the easier it will get. And then by no time, you will be slinging this thing in, slinging it out without even batting an eye. And once you get the hang of inserting it, it makes it a lot easier to not use the lube. So I recommend getting comfortable enough where you can use a little bit of water only to insert it. I wouldn't recommend being reliant on the lube every single time. I just recommend using the lube maybe the first few times that you use it. Just makes it a little bit easier. With that being said, when you're using lube or just when you're inserting the cup in general, you want to be wary of something, and that is called the vagina bitch slap. Ow! This happened to me several times in my many attempts to insert the cup for the first time. It is not pleasant. I don't know which YouTuber I saw that coined this term, but I cannot take credit for it. But she called it the vagina bitch slap, and it is so accurate to what happens. So basically, you know, this thing is made of silicone. It's pretty bouncy. So before you get it past your pelvic bone, you're kind of subject to the vagina bitch slap, especially if you're using lube, because your fingers are a little slippery, and you might get halfway up the vaginal canal before you reach the pelvic bone, and you might just slip, and it'll just pop open, and it'll whack the sides of your vagina, and it'll feel like someone's just slapping the inside of your cooch. And it does not feel nice. I mean, it's not like excruciating pain, but it's just like, ah, shit, what just happened? So be very careful of the vagina bitch slap. It might happen to you. Fair warning. So for me, the most difficult part of the menstrual cup is inserting it in and getting it open all the way. Taking it out is really not difficult for me. I never had an issue with that, so I'll just tell you what I do. You basically just pull it down by the base, slowly pull it down, and then you're gonna wanna, to fit it through your vagina, you're gonna wanna squeeze it a little bit. Obviously don't squeeze it all the way, otherwise the blood will just fall all inside of you. But do the best you can. You'll probably get some inside of you if it's your first or second day and you have a heavy flow. That's just bound to happen. So expect to do a little bit of cleanup duty after you've taken it out and before you reinsert it again. So basically, you're just going to slowly take it out from the base. You don't want to only take it out from the stem. That will hurt. So you're gonna slowly take it down, maneuver it however you need to so it doesn't hurt or feel uncomfortable, and then you're gonna fully take it out, dump out the blood into the toilet, and give it a little rinse in the sink. Now, if you are in a public restroom and you don't feel comfortable going out and rinsing it out and then going back into the stall and inserting it again, I would just recommend, since you're gonna insert it again, I would just dump it out, maybe like have a water bottle with you and like rinse it out a little bit in the toilet, or whatever. Maybe like wipe it down with something, not toilet paper, because you could get some little bits of the toilet paper stuck on there and that would not be good. But maybe just rinse it off with a water bottle that you have with you, dump it out in the toilet, and then reinsert it. Because if you're reinserting it anyway, you don't have to get it squeaky clean. It's gonna get dirty again. So that is my recommendation if you are out in public. But it helps if you kind of time it with your day. If you work all day, put it in at like 7, 8 in the morning and you should be set. If you have a really heavy flow, I would just see where you're at the 6, 7 hour mark and clean it out. If you have to in a public restroom, reinsert it, see how it goes. You kind of just have to play it by ear the first couple of months that you use it. And every other month that you use it after that, you kind of know what to expect, you know what your flow is like, and you know the routine of putting it in and taking it out. One concern of mine when I was taking it out the first few times is that I wasn't able to fully reach the end of my cup. So if you have that issue, and most women do, I like to push like I'm taking a shit and then it'll slowly come down, but you want to make sure that you're relaxed. That's the first rule. You don't want to be all tense, like, oh my God, what if it's stuck in there forever? You just want to relax, breathe. You're gonna get it out. Don't worry about it. Get in a comfortable position on the toilet. I don't know, spread your legs however you want to. You can do it in multiple different ways. You can stand up and put your leg on the toilet. You can just like squat over the toilet. You can sit on the toilet and just, spread eagle. Do whatever you're comfortable with, but it helps for me if I press down like I'm taking a poop. It'll come down a little bit, and then I grab the tail end of it and then just shimmy it on down. In between uses, you want to make sure that you sanitize this by boiling it in water again for 5 minutes. Store it in a bag, the bag that it comes in, or something else. Make sure that it stays clean, that it doesn't get damaged someplace where you won't lose it. And then you have it ready to go for next month when Aunt Flo comes to town. So you also might be wondering which menstrual cup is right for you. I have the Lunette cup. I really, really love it. I've heard a lot of people hate the Diva cup, even though I'm pretty sure that's the most popular menstrual cup out there. I've heard many people say they hate it and it's really hard to get used to. And that learning curve I've been talking about this whole time, it's a lot bigger with the Diva cup. And I think it's because the Diva cup is really long. It's longer than this one, and I think it's just harder to open once it's inside of you. So people with the Diva cup have a little bit more of a difficult time opening it up once you've inserted it inside of you. Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember the other cons of having a Diva cup, but I just know that it's not every woman's first choice. I personally recommend the Lunette cup. No, I'm not sponsored by them. I really like this cup, and it's done me well. It only took me 2 or 3 months to really get the hang of it, whereas other women I hear who use menstrual cups, who use the Diva cup, it takes them about 5 or 6 months. So maybe try this one out. Maybe go with the Diva cup, whatever works for you. Yeah, I really enjoy this one. So that pretty much covers everything you need to know about inserting and taking out the menstrual cup. I hope it gave you a lot of insights, and I really hope it answered all of your questions. If you have any more questions, please leave them down in the comment section below. I would love to answer them, and if I can't answer them, maybe our fellow watchers and subscribers can help you out down there as well. I do not have all the answers. I'm only speaking from my experience, so please take everything I say with a grain of salt. A lot of this takes trial and error. So if you have tried the menstrual cup, you found what works for you, what doesn't work for you, leave all that information down in the comments below if it's anything that contradicts what I said. So please share that information. Everything I think is valuable. We all are different. We all have different bodies, body shapes, and sizes. So what works for me might not work for you. So if you have some more insights, please leave them down below. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. The more likes this video gets, the more likely other people will see it, and the more they will know all they need to know about the menstrual cup. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't checked out part 1, the link will be down in the description box or right here, and I hope you guys have an amazing day, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!
Known you since I was young, basically. Grew together, knew me differently. Saw me when I fell to pieces.